What's going on, everybody? It's your boys over No Days Off DFS here to bring you guys that NBA slate breakdown for another nice slate, 6-game NBA slate we got tonight. If you guys are new here, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you guys don't miss any of the content I put out over here on the channel, and drop a like on this video if this video or any of my other videos have helped you guys win some money, or you just actually enjoy the content and you enjoy what I'm doing over here. Means a lot. Love the interactions, and honestly, wouldn't be doing this if I didn't have the support from you guys that I actually do get. It definitely does mean a lot to me at the end of the day. So real quick recap for myself. Last night was not the best night. Your boy did not cash last night. Ended up scoring a 266.50. And I'm gonna tell you where I went wrong. Derek White, Drew Holiday ruled out. Oh, good matchup. Liked it going up against Dallas. White's been cooking lately. Came out there and it was just Boston on TNT game. Boston just looked like ass from the jump. And honestly, to me, a lot of these older teams, the problem and the issue that I see whenever I watch them play, there's barely any ball movement. It's just a bunch of ISO and stuff like that from some of these teams. And it's but nobody on Boston had it going last night. KP looked like crap. Tatum just uninterested again. Jaylen Brown was the only one that actually scored over 30-something fantasy points, and then Peyton Pritchard off the bench were the only two that actually did something for the team. Other than that, everyone else like legitimately looked like ass. Podominski, of course, out there in the starting lineup. Warriors, they did their best as they could. You couldn't have went wrong if you took Pod or if you took Buddy Hield. Both these guys had 28 and 29 fantasy points, so that was decent and great value. Loved it right there. Christian Braun actually ended up starting at the point guard. They started Julian Strawther. Didn't go with that. I was already pretty high on Braun anyway for the day. And then as soon as they ruled out Jamal Murray, that just kind of solidified it for me. I was like, boom, this is really great. Didn't expect him to start at point. Really kind of didn't matter because we know the Joker, he's going to run the point. Of course, triple-double once again. But you did not need the Joker last night, and we'll talk about why we didn't need the Joker. Tari Eason, liked him, pretty good spot. His blocks and steals, that definitely got him there. Very great defensive player. Love his upside, and I'll continue to go there to him as long as he's underneath that 6K price tag, and you're going to give him about 30 minutes. Decent spot, especially whenever the matchup dictates it. Gafford, I do feel like he could have got more if the game would have actually stayed close, and if he didn't get himself into foul trouble, because he was cooking Porzingis out there. James Harden, Indy, I can't even. I don't get it. And then, of course, you can't see it down here, but Rui Hachimura literally just fell back down to earth. Wasn't hitting any of his shots. Just looked poor out there on defense. The only reason why the Lakers won that game, LeBron James legit turned that clock back last night. When I say that, if you guys watched the beginning of the game, there was legit like a good 3-minute span of LeBron taking one rebound, three, rebound, three, rebound, heat check, logo, three. Craziness last night for Bron. That right there, he was on one from the jump of that game. Big. I want to say he scored like 80-something fantasy points, and that was a big reason why you didn't have to have the Joker last night, where you can get a 10-something LeBron James. Dude's just playing lights out. It's amazing. And then last but not least, I had DeAndre Ayton. Liked the spot for him going up against Sabone Dog. And what do you know? Portland won another game last night. Pretty crazy, but that's where I was at last night. Gonna try again, of course, tonight. Kind of what the channel is based off. No days off. I'm gonna keep on playing, keep on doing what we do over here, and gonna go right back at it once again. So definitely. Hey, it's a nice size. This is a size slate that you guys know I like, those 5-6 game slates. Decent, especially when pretty much a lot of the news we should have pretty early. And I know a lot of people, they kind of like the mystery, the unknown, I could probably get this sneaky type thing like that. I like having all my news. I personally do, especially when I can actually set my line, forget it, and not have to deal with stuff. Like I said, I got a nice size family. I like to go ahead and just do what I need to get done, things like that. Ain't nobody got time to keep on trying to check their phone and update stuff. That right there, I personally don't like doing that. That's just me, if I'm being really honest. But all right, getting into it. The day after the trade deadline, a lot of moves and stuff went down. Hopefully your team that you're rooting for, they made something happen for you guys. Hopefully you guys are happy with that. Honestly, I was up in the air if I was going to actually play today, just because, I kind of just want to sit back and enjoy watching some ball today, because that animal is going to be back today over there. Number 7 for the Thunder is back, and I'm just really excited to actually watch my boys play ball and just see how we look. I don't expect too many minutes for Chet today, coming back 20-25 minutes at the most, but starting lineup wise, like, are we going to see him start? It's at home. I know we're on the front end of a back-to-back, like so many different things, but I digress. We got Cleveland taking on Washington. Cleveland, DeAndre Hunter, I want to say he's doubtful to play today. They're already without Sam Morrell, Caruso, and Dean Wade. There's going to be some interesting pieces that we actually can get. I know that, of course, we see on paper Cleveland going up against Washington, 17.5-point spread. Cleveland top in the East, this, that, and the third. But Cleveland on the road is a little bit different than Cleveland at home. So don't mind it. Donovan Mitchell was rested last game because they were on the back end of the back-to-back. That is typically what we've seen them do continuously. But I do fully expect for him to actually be back today. Over here on the Washington side of things, looks like this is going to pretty much be our starting lineup that we should get used to seeing over here for them. It's going to be Jordan Poole, Bub Carrington, Koulibaly, Keontae George, and Rashawn Holmes is going to be getting the start. A lot of players over here for them that are of course, game time decision, game time decisions, doubtful to play. Of course, with trades and stuff going down, I doubt we're going to see Chris Middleton. Doubt we're going to see Marcus Smart, AJ Johnson. I don't think we're going to see any of those guys that they just acquired unless some news comes out later on in the day. Hopefully we get that to actually know for sure for them. But Sarr is going to be out, so that's the big thing why we should actually see Rashawn Holmes still get that starting spot over there for them. San Antonio Spurs with the new addition of De'Aaron Fox. Fox actually started, which is, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Chris Paul said, "Nah, I ain't coming off no damn bench. You crazy. You watch your mind." And then over there for them, Bassey, backup center for Wemby, is out tonight. Over here on the Charlotte Hornets side, LaMelo Ball was upgraded yesterday to being questionable, so he might actually be back. And they traded away Big Meech. Meech has been traded from the Charlotte Hornets, so backup point guard duties, unless it's going to be KJ getting the start if Melo is not good to go. They did just sign Alfred Payton to a 10-day contract, and I don't think that he's going to be added to the DraftKings pool. Matter of fact, let's look it up real quick over here. Yeah, Peyton's not in the player pool unless DraftKings, which they can and they have in the past, added players to the pool. They can do that. So we'll see if they actually do that today. Josh Green, game time decision. And then, of course, we know they got rid of Mark Williams. Diabite is their starting center for the future. It's pretty much going to be Diabite and what's his name? Taj Gibson out there running the center spot. Not too sure if we're going to actually see Nurk. Not too sure if we're going to see Dalton Connect, if those guys, and I already know Cam Reddish, he is out for tonight, personal, so he's not going to be playing tonight at all. Milwaukee taking on Atlanta. Damian Lillard, he's going to be good to go. Giannis was a late scratch last time, and then we got Bobby Portis thrust into the starting lineup. All things right now currently telling me that the Giannis should be playing. If Giannis is going to be out, then of course we already know Bobby Portis is going to slide right back into that starting spot. Doubt that we're going to see Kuzma today. Definitely something to pay attention to right there. Not too sure what's going to happen with that. But of course, we will have that news before slate locks, hopefully, for sure. Atlanta side, Trae Young, the lone survivor. Don't know what Atlanta's doing. They traded away DeAndre Hunter. I really don't get that, sending him over there to Cleveland. That's just crazy to me right there. But I guess when you got the boom that you're getting from Dyson Daniels, Vic Krejci actually looks like a decent player. Ricochet, your number one pick from this past draft, is looking actually pretty good. And Okongwu, he's playing well. I guess maybe you feel like you can offload some players. You know that you're kind of in a middling ground rebuild-ish, trying to get out of purgatory type thing. I guess. Really no news that I have to pay attention to over here. I doubt we're going to see Terrence Mann. Doubt we're going to see Karis LeVert or Georges Niang. But, of course, that news we should get as the day continues to go on. Just pay attention to that. Over here on Philly, Paul George expected to be back and playing. Joel Embiid, he's going to be playing today. Yabusele is a game time decision. If Yab is going to be out, then we're going to see them probably start Edwards or something like that at that power forward spot. Of course, we just pay attention to that right there. Detroit, Cade Cunningham was present at shoot-around, so fully expect for Cade to be playing here today, going up against Philly. Dennis Schroeder, I doubt we're going to see him and Lindy Waters today. Of course, that trade just went through yesterday, so I highly doubt we see those two guys, but if we do, I'm not really going to pay too much attention to it. Like, that's not something I'm going to worry about. Miami, Kyle Anderson, Davion Mitchell, Andrew Wiggins. If Wiggins actually does suit up and play, then of course Heisman is going to be taken out of that starting lineup. I doubt it. I definitely do think Miami's one of those teams that would like to integrate and see, get players used to stuff before they just throw them into something. So I doubt that we're going to see these new guys until they get some practice and stuff underneath their belt. And then on the Brooklyn shitter sides, I don't know if you guys seen it, but Ben Simmons, he's about to get bought out. He's about to be out there on the market. Supposedly going to go talk to the Cavs. I believe the Cavs, the Clippers, and the Rockets. I'm really hoping, really hoping that he can go and talk to my Thunder, because we do need a secondary ball handler that can come off the bench, and play when Shea leaves the game. And to me, Ben Simmons actually can still play some decent defense. Like, I don't mind having Ben Simmons. I'm not worried about the shot. I want you to facilitate. I got shooters around. I got playmakers, high IQ basketball players around. I don't need you to shoot. I definitely think that Ben wouldn't be bad. That's just me being selfish right there. But D'Lo, de facto point guard, hopefully his minutes actually solidify. We can get back to 30 minutes D'Lo. That would be great to have again. Keon Johnson, Zaire, Cam Johnson, Nick Claxton. That'll be rounding that out over there. And then the game of the night, the game that everybody should be watching tonight. The Toronto Raptors taking on OKC. Big thing for them. They got BI from down there from New Orleans, but he is doubtful. He's not going to be playing. RJ Barrett's out as well. Jakob Poeltl is out. So more than likely, it's going to be a toss-up what we actually get for the starting lineup, especially at the center spot, because they can start Chris Boucher, but I highly doubt that they do. They never seem to like to start him at all. But for them, of course, we're going to see Quickly, Dick, Waters, Scotty Barnes, and maybe Robinson at that starting spot. I highly doubt that they will put Kelly Olynyk over there, which actually, did Kelly Olynyk get traded yesterday? Let me check. Kelly Olynyk questionable. Oh no, they actually traded Olynyk, Bruce Brown, to the Pelicans. So never mind. Kelly Olynyk should not. What the hell is DraftKings doing? Come on, y'all. Y'all were able to know this news before the slate should have even came out yesterday. What the fuck y'all doing? But over here on the Thunder side of things, we got Shea, of course, at the point. Lou Dort. Right now projected, they move Jalen Williams to the 3, Chet Holmgren starting at the 4, and iHeart starting at the 5. Hopefully we actually get the clarification on what's going to happen over here for the Thunder, because of course getting Chet back, that's big news. And I fully expect for him to at least play 20 to 25 minutes, like straight up. Head on over to DraftKings, the site I play most on the site. If you guys don't got an account, you want one, check the link down in the description below so you guys get that deposit match bonus and join your boy over here on the King. All right, so looking at it straight about the gate, we got Cleveland taking on the Washington Wizards. Of course, huge spread. We think that this possibly could be a blowout. Well, at least that's what the books are telling us, that this game should be a blowout. But like I said, Cleveland on the road, I'm not too scared or worried in that regards. On the road, I definitely do think that Washington, you know, trade rumors, all that stuff is gone. The young guys, they like to play. They're going to go out there and they're going to play regardless. But if it's going to be a blowout, somebody has to do something. Someone actually has to go off. And looking at it, of course, we know time and time again, we have attacked with opposing centers. Jared Allen has cooked versus them so far this season, dropping 36 and 42 fantasy points in 2 out of the 3 games. One game, this game was truly a blowout. It is a 118-87, and he only played 25 minutes in that game, giving us 19 fantasy points. Coming off of a mediocre game where he only 32 minutes and had 6 points, but 3 steals, a block, 6 assists, and 13 rebounds, still was able to drop 37 fantasy points. Going up against the Washington Wizards in a game, possibly if it can stay close, I could definitely see him flirting with a double-double, definitely going out there getting us at least 40-something fantasy points. And when you look at it, one of the plays that I really do actually like today that I wouldn't mind taking for Jared Allen, just due to who they have out there and everything, would be Jared Allen. Of course, not just a double-double, because that's sitting at a minus 155 when I looked at it over on DraftKings. I would take Jared Allen for 10 rebounds and 12 points. And I want to say that actually gets you the plus money, where it'll be like a plus... I want to say it was like a plus 125 or something like that. That'll definitely be what I would actually take if you were to try to run that play over there for Jared Allen. I do like the upside for that. Outside of Jared Allen, of course, who has a really great matchup, and we do know opposing centers, they have cooked versus the Washington Wizards. I mean, Mark Williams, before he got traded, dropped 49. Rudy Gobert, 50. Jackson Hayes, in limited minutes, in 26 minutes, dropped 31. I understand Jared Allen is the focal point, but definitely just a great spot for him. Donovan Mitchell, if he's going to be back, good to go, or maybe they decide they want to rest Garland or something like that. Who knows? I wouldn't mind Donovan, 8,600 off of rest. I definitely could see him going out here giving us a big day. In all 3 games versus them this season, he has had no less than 40 fantasy points in all 3 games. 51, 43, and 40 fantasy points. Opposing 2 guards have actually cooked going up against them. Keldon Johnson, or KJ, I actually have no clue which Johnson this is right here, but 43 fantasy points. Nick Smith Jr., 35 fantasy points. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 27 fantasy points. Davion Mitchell, 27 fantasy points in, from the Raptors. So definitely some upside right there for him. You definitely can mess with Evan Mobley at the 8,400 price tag. I know he's coming off of a very big game, great game that he had last time out, where he went out there and he dropped 60.25 fantasy points, 30 actual real life points. You can mess with that if you want to, but I would just take the upside that I can get from Jared Allen, who's in a pretty great spot. Now, if you want some value from over here, with the fact that they have gotten rid of Karis LeVert, you are also missing some of your players off the bench, Dean Wade, Sam Morrell. I do think that this is a spot that you will see Ty Jerome be able to play decent minutes. So we could see 20-something plus minutes from Ty Jerome, and he can cook in that time frame. If the game blows out, Ty Jerome can also do that right there in the extended run that he possibly might get as well. So I do like him at that 4,700 price tag. I think he makes for a really good value play if you just want to get some of the value instead of trying to pay up for some of the studs over here on Cleveland side. On Washington side of things, of course, like we said, no Kuzma. Don't think that some of those guys that they just got in trade talks are going to actually be playing today. I do think the upside can be there for. We're going to just continue to look at the young guys over here. Koulibaly, 5,500, went out there last game, 31 minutes, 47.5 fantasy points, was already cooking before Kuzma got traded and was gone. Versus the Cavs, of course, since they've already played a couple times this season, he's actually gone out there and cooked pretty well versus them. 47 fantasy points the last time they played them. The game before that, 24 fantasy points in 31 minutes and 32 fantasy points in 35 minutes. Not bad, especially for a player that no matter what the score is, he's going to be out there. He's going to have to play. Really do like the young guys here. Besides Koulibaly, definitely we can look towards Keyshawn George. Definitely can look at him as possible play. Last time out, after the trade, Kuzma being gone, went out there and dropped 36.25 fantasy points, 17 actual points, 3 assists, 7 rebounds. And then, of course, versus the Cavs earlier this season, playing spotty minutes, wasn't starting, but in 27 minutes, he dropped 20 fantasy points. Then the second game that he played versus them, only 11 minutes, but had 12 fantasy points and didn't play the last time that they played versus the Cavs. So I don't mind taking the young guys in here. Koulibaly, Keontae George, Bub Carrington. Those guys would be the ones I would look to. And a sprinkle of GPP. Just a sprinkle of GPP of Jordan Poole, who is going to be out there. He is going to have to play minutes, and he will go ahead and get his burn and his shine as well. So I don't mind looking towards Jordan Poole as a possible GPP option at 6,800. Outside of that, I don't like the matchup for the bigs here for Rashawn Holmes, or if they give Tristan, I'm not going to butcher this dude's name. I'm not too interested in that. The matchup is actually a tougher one for them going up against the Cavs centers over there. So I really wouldn't mess with that. San Antonio Spurs in a really great spot. Matchup going up against the Charlotte Hornets. De'Aaron Fox, of course, getting the start. Looked great out there. Went out there, had a double-double in his debut. 13 assists, 24 points, 57.75 fantasy points. And in another great spot again, going up against the Charlotte Hornets. De'Aaron Fox, 8,500. I'll take that. Going up against a weak team that we know can't give it up to opposing, whether or not if he's playing the point guard when Chris Paul's not out there, or playing at the 2 guard when Chris Paul is out there. Either one, I like it. Rashawn Holmes just got put onto the injury report as questionable just now. So Holmes, more than likely, late edition in the day, will probably be out tonight. So that Tristan Vikas dude might actually end up just being like a cheap value play because he's going to have to play minutes type thing. Great. But De'Aaron Fox, like the spot for him, 8,500. He's going to play point guard when Chris Paul is going to the bench and he's not out there with him. So either way, he's going to go out there and be able to get his, like the spot for him. Outside of that, Wemby. Who is going to guard Wemby? Who is going to stop him? 11K definitely makes for a pay-up option between him and SGA today. Great matchup. I know the Hornets, they like to play hard. They like to do what they do. Damn, I actually wish I could drive out there to Charlotte tonight and actually see Wemby play in person. Like, that would actually be bonkers to just even thinking about that just now. But Wemby, if you can fit up to him, of course, this is a pretty great spot matchup for him. They haven't played this season yet, but we do know opposing centers, they have cooked, they have done their thing. So definitely wouldn't mind going ahead and paying up for Wemby right there. Outside of that, GPP options for me would be Vassell, Sam Castle, who we saw his minutes come down, not in the starting lineup anymore. Played 20 minutes, but still putting up a fantasy point per minute. Don't mind that at all. Cho-Chan coming off the bench. Really don't know why he's off the bench instead of Harrison Barnes. That's just crazy to me. But still wouldn't mind these guys as just fillers and possible plays that I can get to. Not anything that I feel like I have to get to. On the Charlotte Hornets side of things, if they don't add Alfred Payton to the pool, then we will have to look towards KJ Simpson. If there's not going to be any LaMelo Ball, somebody's going to have to play point. But if Melo is out there, coming off of injury, I would imagine Melo should be limited to maybe 20-25 minutes. But the Hornets are weird. Honestly, truly weird when it comes down to it. He's missed about a week and some change now since he's been out with the injury. So I wouldn't even look at him or get up there to him. I could play Cade instead or SGA if I want to pay up right there. Miles Bridges, you can definitely look there. 9K, I do think that's a bit rich to get up there for him, but a potential option, especially if there is no Melo. You can definitely consider that. Nick Smith Jr., definitely look towards him. 5,100. We know he's going to ball with or without Melo being out there. I don't mind getting to him. Definitely would have some peripheral stats too if Melo isn't out there at all. Could see myself getting there. And then, as much as I hate to say it, the matchup really does suck for DBT here, but the dude is a very good fantasy point per minute producer when he's out there on the court, and I would have to say I'm going to have to look towards him just for the fact of you have no centers over here. Like I know for a fact that Nurk is not making a debut or anything today or whatnot over here for them. Nurk is the one that actually went over here to the Hornets, right? Yeah, Nurk is not making no debut today. I don't see that happening. So DBT is going to have to play minutes. 4,300, I will have to actually consider him. And opposing centers in all the rights, they've done decent going up against the San Antonio Spurs. Milwaukee Bucks side, it's Giannis, it's Dame. That's pretty much going to be it for me. Kuzma, unless they give us something and that he's going to be in the fold, wouldn't even play him yet. 6,100. Got to see what his role is, see how he's going to do over there. I will say if we get some news that Giannis might be trending towards being doubtful or out, then that just vaults Damian Lillard up to the top for me as in regards to a play. And then, of course, Bobby Portis right behind him right there for me. Outside of that, everyone else over here, I do think the Hawks will be able to keep this game close with the Bucks being on the road. So I'm not going to really try to figure out, am I playing Gary Trent, Taurean Prince, Andre Jackson? Like I'm not doing all that. It's Dame, it's Giannis, and then Bobby Portis if Giannis is going to be out. Like that's pretty much it for me. Lopez, you can sprinkle that right there too if you want to mess with that, but nah, don't got to get cute. We don't have to get cute. We could just keep it straight. On the Atlanta side, Trae Young, he's been popping off, honestly, since the All-Star snub, putting the games into his hand. 53, 47, 68 fantasy points in those 3 straight games since then. All great spots for him. Don't mind this matchup for him here, going up against the Bucks. Of course, with the usage and everything that he's been having right now being out there, of course, we know they just traded away DeAndre Hunter. You're going to have to kind of pick up that scoring and everything with him not being out there. Playing against the Bucks earlier this season, he has put up some pretty decent numbers in 1 out of the 2 games. 40 minutes, dropped 61 fantasy points in that game. Game before that, 35 minutes, only dropped 30 fantasy points in that one. So definitely don't mind Trae Young. We know if the shot's falling and he's feeling it or whatnot, depending on how he's feeling after this trade deadline news, this could be a great spot for Trae. Outside of that, I will put some respect on his name. Dyson motherfucking Daniels, man. Dude's been balling. His scoring has come along quite nicely. We know he can play make, and we know he plays some very good defense out there as well. But 43, 49, 37, 25, and 45 fantasy points in their last couple of games. Going up against the Bucks earlier this season, 38 minutes, he dropped 31 fantasy points. 31 minutes, he dropped 27 fantasy points. So the upside definitely is there for him, especially him being the 2 and the 1-2 punch with him and Trae Young out there. I like the upside. If you can't get up to Trae and you just want to get some value or something from here, I can definitely see taking Dyson Daniels, 7,200 price tag. He's been paying that off over his last several games, and I can see him doing that again, giving us at least a 35 to 40-ish fantasy point game here. Outside of that, we already know the offense is going to also have to flow through another de facto player in the starting lineup, but Onyeka Okongwu coming off of a 57 fantasy point game going up against the San Antonio Spurs. That's what kind of gives me hope for DBT. I'm not going to say DBT is Onyeka Okongwu, but he's going to have to play the minutes. So that's kind of why I will have to add DBT to the play pool. But Onyeka Okongwu, definitely going up against the Bucks. We know he can stretch the floor as well. As long as he keeps himself out of foul trouble, he's playing some decent minutes. No Clint Capella behind him. Of course, you got Barlow and can't remember the other kid's name, Gay or something like that behind him. That's pretty much it. But I do like Onyeka Okongwu here, 6,300. That's a great price tag for him. Actually, has come down after coming off of a 57 fantasy point game. Really do like the upside for him right there. Outside of that, GPP options in Vic Krejci and Ricochet. I don't believe that we're going to see Karis LeVert today or Georges Niang, like I said. So maybe we could look towards, depending on who's actually available. you're probably going to have to look towards a Barlow, a Wallace guy, because they don't have Roddy anymore. He got waived. They don't have, of course, Bogdanovich. He got traded. DeAndre Hunter, he's not there. So somebody off the bench is going to have to get an uptick in regards to their upside in production. But I'm not exactly too sure exactly where that's going to come. Maybe they can give Larry Nance some more minutes. They have been playing him roughly about 17, close to 20 minutes. So maybe you can go there. But it's kind of spotty iffy right there for me. All right, Miami taking on the Brooklyn shitters over here. Miami, I honestly feel like they won that trade with the Golden State Warriors. They got a younger Jimmy Butler in my eyes. Andrew Wiggins, 29, Jimmy Butler, 35. It works out because Wiggins is a consistent player. You know you can at least go out there and get about 15 to 20 points from him, and he can explode on a good night. Can play some decent defense, can stretch the floor, and things of that nature. Now, doubtful for him to make his debut today, which is cool. That means that we will get the show of course, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware. That's where we're going to look over here on the Miami Heat side, as always. If hopefully Jovic is in, wouldn't mind looking at him as a play. Of course, coming off a very great game, 37 minutes last time out, 41.75 fantasy points. Wouldn't mind getting right back there to him, especially if Highsmith is out. And even if Highsmith plays, I do feel like Jovic and Jaime Jaquez are the two better players when it comes down to it. Really not too worried about Highsmith at all. But I do like the upside for Jovic again. For the kid, like the dude, he's playing really great minutes and he's giving us some pretty good upside. So I would rather get over there. Now, when it comes down to the big three over here for them, Bam Adebayo, great spot, great matchup. I really don't feel like they have the size necessary to guard him. Coming off of some decent and consistent production for him. 38, 38, 69, 37, 54. I can take that and deal with that from Bam. 110%. I will say Khalil Ware, last game out, no points. Really weird. We're getting the ups and downs, ebbs and flows of a rookie. But good matchup for him going up against the Brooklyn Nets. Wouldn't mind taking him, but I will say currently right now, I would rather play Bam over Ware. Ware would definitely be the GP option. And then, of course, Tyler Hero. Dude's been pretty steady. 52, 45, 28, 42, 61. You could definitely mess with that right there. On the Brooklyn Nets side of things, no Ben Simmons. He's officially gone. So that means D'Angelo Russell. He is the de facto point guard. He should be out here playing over 30 minutes a night. Hopefully we see that. I wouldn't mind getting to D'Lo if we can actually see some consistency finally. Definitely makes for a GP option. I will say I will stick to what I know has been working over here for them. And they have been pretty straight with giving Keon Johnson minutes. So Keon Johnson actually is my favorite play over here from the Brooklyn Nets. 43, 37, 33, 35 fantasy points, showing some very consistent production and upside from him. And versus the Miami Heat earlier this season, he's put up a fantasy point per minute in both games versus them. 28 minutes, 29 fantasy points, 35 minutes, 35 fantasy points in his 2 games versus them. So I could definitely see myself rocking with that and getting over there to him as a play. Now, I will say D'Lo, he did play in 1 game versus the Brooklyn Nets. Versus Miami Heat since joining the Brooklyn Nets. That was a game where he played 26 minutes and dropped 41 fantasy points. Not gonna say he's gonna go ahead and do that again, but again, you can mess with D'Lo, but I will say I'd rather just come down here to Keon at 5K. 5K, that's cheap for a player that's actually just going out there and balling and actually giving me something. Outside Keon, of course, we know we can mess with our boy Zaire. His minutes, they've typically been pretty safe for him. He's another one that plays typically about 30-ish minutes out there for him. I can see myself getting over there to him as well as another possible play. And then depending on if, I'd say more GPP would be Cam Johnson. I can see him as like, if I land there, I take it. But if I don't, I'm not going to force it or make that like a staple play that I have to get to. All right. We are moving along pretty well, actually, in this one. I'm really proud of it. If you guys are glad that I'm actually moving, drop a like on this video for me. All right, Philly taking on Detroit. Joel Embiid is sitting at 10K. Joel Embiid is an 11 to 12K player. Joel Embiid came back first game and played 36 minutes. Joel Embiid had a triple-double in his first game back. Joel Embiid is full of shit, and I don't believe that he was actually injured or anything was truly wrong with the man, and he was just playing the funk because Philly is just trying to tank-ish. They know they're not winning anything this year. They know they're not doing anything, so they're putting bullshit tags on players and stuff, and it's just been that. That's what I'm really just starting to believe, because how the hell are you going to say he's going to probably come back and play 30 minutes after being off for almost a month? 30 minutes in his first game back. Was you really injured, JoJo? Was you really out of shape? Was you? Because that's crazy to me. Coming back first, just crazy to me. But Joel Embiid, definitely just like going up against Darren. Darren probably gonna have himself in foul trouble today. Just straight out the gate, man. Just Joel Embiid. That's it. I'm not even gonna talk it up. Tyrese Maxey, dude's been balling 99. I will say I would rather get to Cade on the other side if I got to come down to it, just because Maxey's going to have Paul George and Joel Embiid back. But Maxey has shown he doesn't care if Paul George or Embiid are there because he's going to ball out. But I would rather just play Joel Embiid if I'm deciding. I mean, it's $100 difference. I understand two different positions, but Embiid's uses is right up there with Maxey. Outside of that, you can mess with the Kelly Oubre Jr. 6,800. He's been showing some type of consistency. Granted, you got all three of your star players out there. Maybe you don't want to mess with Kelly. We could just go down to a Keon Johnson sitting at 5K. Definitely some savings and value you can get right there as a possible play. Outside of that, Yabusele, if he actually plays, I really don't know if I want to get to him, but power forwards versus Detroit has been a thing, and I've been saying that for like months now. So you definitely could swing and go right there if you want to. On the Detroit side of things, like I said, love Cade today, 10-5, really great spot. President shoot around. Feel like he is going to be able to go off once again. I mean, Cade has just been amazing and out of this world this season. 37 minutes earlier versus them this season, 42 fantasy points. Like the upside is definitely there for him. Outside of Cade, I do feel like Dern will get himself in foul trouble here. This is just one of those spots, and his minutes are pretty capped in regards to how long he's going to go out there and play. He's not playing over 30 minutes out there, but if we think that's probably going to happen, then Tobias Harris, we're going to need him. Going to need him to actually do something. You could definitely mess with that at the 5,700 price tag. That's not bad. Just got hope for a good Tobias Harris day. And if we do think that Dern's going to be in foul trouble, definitely look towards Isaiah Stewart. Outside of Isaiah Stewart as a GPP option, really not going to mess with too much over here from Detroit. Unless maybe Beasley, if he's to miss, maybe we could see some, sorry guys, something is really maybe we could see some minutes uptick finally for Asar. 27 minutes in his last game, 32 fantasy points. If he ever can break 35 minutes, it's gonna go up. Tim Hardaway Jr., another one that if his shot's falling, he's gonna go out there and give us a good day. You can mess with that, but these two right here are more GPP options. Cade is really my favorite play over here from Detroit if I have to choose or take anything. Final game of the night. My OKC Thunder taking on the Toronto Raptors. When it comes down to it, really, there's not too much to take from the Raptors. Scotty Barnes, really don't like him today. 9,100, going to be dealing with Chet, going to be dealing with Jalen Williams, might even see Lou Dort. Going to see some pretty good defenders out there. And honestly, I do expect this game to blow out. Like, very, very honest when it comes down to it. But, hey, if I had to take anything, I would take the young guys, the value. Grady Dick, he's been able to see his minutes even not depending on what the game is on. And then Jacoby Ware, he's seeing some decent minutes. Wouldn't mind him as well. I definitely do think that these two guys would actually see a good run no matter what the score is. And then Chris Bouchard, probably going to have to pay some backup center spot minutes and things like that. I could see possibly him as an option that we can get to over here. But really, I really don't like anything over here on the Raptors. Like, it just looks ugly from everywhere option over there for them. On the OKC side, this is also going to be, again, I understand it's the late night hammer and everything, but not too much for me like over here, just with Chet coming back 20 to 25 minutes. Not too sure how he's going to look getting reiterated. I would say the safest play over here is, of course, going to be Shea, because he has a safe floor of at least about 40 to 50 fantasy points. Outside of that, I'm not going to force anything or make anything like a priority over here from them. You could mess with Isaiah Hartenstein, because I don't think that he would necessarily be too effective with Chet coming back, splitting minutes if they have to or not. That's really just the question that we have to get answered right there from them. But you can mess with him as possible play, but I really got to see how the team is going to shake out. If I was taking anything from this game, I would just take OKC's money line. That's it. that's really, honest to God, truly it from this game. But yeah, that's going to do it for me, guys. Good luck to everybody today. Hopefully you guys cash out. I will see you guys next week. last week, pretty much ramping up before the All-Star game and everything going on. Hopefully this weekend I might actually record some content for just the updates and stuff going on in the WNBA, all the trades and stuff that they're having going on, cover some Unrivaled stuff as well. If you guys want to see that, let me know down in the comment section. Be blessed. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button if you guys haven't done so already. Drop a like on the video if you guys did enjoy the content. Good luck to everybody. Cash out. Peace.